We begin with new information about a deadly crash over the weekend involving a Columbia fire truck on its way to a house fire. This afternoon, the coroner identified the woman who died in that wreck. Meanwhile, the State Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. We have team coverage of the tragic weekend in Columbia. Bralees Primatal and Kiana Jordan are tracking that story. We begin with Bralees. Bralees, what's the latest?
The coroner says 64-year-old Carolyn Collins of Columbia died in Saturday night's crash. The fire truck collided with the car that she was in, was actually on its way here after lightning sparked a fire in 3 homes. People who live here say that the crash stopped the crews from coming here faster and has left people with nowhere to go and little support. On Saturday night, Columbia fire crews were called to Bradford Ridge Lane after a lightning started a blaze at this home. But the response was delayed after a crash between a fire truck and a car that was driving on Two Notch Road. 64-year-old Carolyn Collins died in the crash. Several homes here caught fire and are no longer livable, authorities say. A neighbor we talked to who didn't want to appear on camera says her family created this GoFundMe to help the fire victims.
They have children. School is starting soon. And then not only that, if you look at the house, it's total. They lost everything. That's devastating.
She says not every family is in a position to start over. People in the neighborhood are asking what happened, but she says there aren't enough people helping.
They don't have money like that. And my concern is, yes, this is devastating, but more devastating is figuring out their next step, where we're going to live at, what we're going to eat.
Matthew Canzader also lives nearby and says the situation is heartbreaking. Canzader says his family will contribute to the GoFundMe because this could happen to anyone.
We're neighbors. Neighbors supposed to be helpful toward our neighbors. You don't get over this overnight. It's something that's going to be with you for a minute. And whatever you could do to help get them back relocated, maybe not here, but relocated at a family structure, yeah, we do what we can do to help.
Anybody that can help, come on, reach in your pocket. If it's $1, if it's $2, every little bit helps.
Neighbors say families are facing unimaginable loss. The GoFundMe is set for $80,000 for all of the families impacted by the fire. You can find all of that information on our website at WACH.com. In Columbia, I'm Bralees Pimentel, Watch Fox News, Local First.
Bralees, thank you so much for that. Well, the crash on the way to that devastating fire also raising some questions. Tonight, we're looking at the rules of the road for both drivers and emergency vehicles when they are on their way to a scene. We continue our team coverage. Our Kiana Jordan, she's live along Two Notch Road in Decker Boulevard where Saturday's crash happened. Kiana, what have you learned?
Well, Friendy, when I reached out to local and state and national fire associations, they told me that local fire departments create their own protocol regulations. So I reached out to Columbia Fire Chief Aubrey Jenkins, who told me that the only protocol for their fire trucks is to make sure they always have on lights and siren when responding to emergency calls, and that they do not have any traffic and speed restrictions. Now, as a driver, experts say the first thing you should do when you hear and see lights and siren approaching is move to the lane where the emergency vehicle isn't. Experts say this rule is outlined in the state's Move Over law pertaining to all emergency vehicles with lights and sirens activated. Trey Harris with Learn to Drive Academy Columbia and Charleston says while the law is very straightforward, each experience is different. Harris says sometimes emergency vehicles are moving very fast and a driver may not be able to move into another lane. That's when he says drivers should reduce their speed and look to move out of the way.
For new drivers and drivers that have been driving for 20 or 30 years, when you see or you hear the police or an ambulance, a lot of times it's unexpected. So it catches a lot of people off guard. Most important thing is to be aware of your surroundings and understand that you're spatial. You have cars around you.
Are one of the leading causes of death when it comes to first responders and their line of work. Now, Watch Fox News also reached out, put in a FOIA request to the Columbia Richland Fire Department to request their documentation on any protocols they have for drivers when operating the fire truck with lights and siren activated. But tune in tonight to find out more on how you can stay safe as a driver on the road in these situations. Live in Columbia, I'm Kiana Jordan. Watch Fox News, Local First.